Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Tim from Tim's PC and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. I also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so we're back here tonight. It's been a little while. We've got a lot of PCs coming up now. I've just been taking a lot of orders over the last week. So yeah, and the ads haven't even been running all week. So I mean, I guess that's this time of year. But considering how flat Christmas was, I'm happy to be seeing some orders coming through here at Tim's PC again, because the whole industry has kind of like bottomed out, and this is a broader thing within the tech industry here in Australia. But in particular, consumer PCs. Basically, a lot of people bought a new PC during COVID. It was like, roughly 3 years ago. And a lot of those people with those new PCs they bought 3 years ago, looking at it now and going, yeah, maybe I can wait another couple of years before I need to upgrade, because what they bought back in COVID still holds up pretty well in this day and age. So, but I digress. We got a new build here tonight, and it's an AM4 socket build. So in the title there, I said, is AM4 dead? And hopefully by watching the build and seeing how the system performs, you'll understand that indeed AM4 is not completely dead. Sure, it's the older platform, but it wasn't. We weren't sort of, put it like this, okay? Before AM5 socket came out, all of us on AM4 with DDR4, no one was sitting around going, oh my god, this is just so slow and horrible, it plays all my games like shit, I'm absolutely hanging out for the new socket. Said no one. Okay, everyone on AM4 socket was quite happy, and then they only upgraded because, hey, there's something new to upgrade to. So what that sort of means is that all the applications and games that people run are still running completely fine on AM4. So if you don't have the money and you want to save a bit of money, AM4's a pretty good proposition for you. Yeah, like it's pretty toxic what you can find online, and it's never a good idea just to listen to like your one friend to get advice from. A lot of people do that. They got a friend who's into PCs and they assume that person is the expert. But trust me, if you want to talk about something technical, talk to someone like me, because the problem is with your mate that's built his own PC and stuff like that. He's probably built like 4 or 5 PCs in his whole life. Okay, I've built, not quite 4,000 or 5,000 yet, but I've built over 1,000 PCs. So I've got a little bit more perspective on things than just the one person with their one set of ideals. It's definitely something it's kind of annoying, because you make a recommendation to someone and it's tailored to what they need, and then they go talk to their friend, and then their friend says, oh, they need all this stuff that they really don't need. And then from a sales perspective, as soon as that happens, I have to, as from a sales perspective, I then have to go, yeah, no worries, absolutely, let's incorporate everything that you suggested. That's what you want to do, that's what we're going to do, right? I don't argue with people once with that, but that's the thing. You'll see the occasional build that comes through here that might not be completely balanced and stuff like that, and you might think, hey, what's this guy smoking and stuff like that. I build what the customer wants. If the customer doesn't want my advice and they still want to place an order, then I build them whatever they want. But if they want my advice, I give them my advice. And this customer wanted something cheap, but still performed really, really well. And what we got here is a pretty good price performance option if you didn't want to spend over over $1,500 on a new PC. So I think I've ranted and raved long enough now, so let's get stuck right into it. So we got a Ryzen 5 5600 GT. Oh no, sorry, 5500 GT. This is the new revision 5600G. And is it... I was under the impression... It doesn't even tell me on the packaging. I was under the impression that this revision was PCIe 4, whereas the Ryzen 5500 and 5600, the non-X ones, and the G was just PCIe 3. I don't know if you're watching along live and you want to do a quick search. Do you want to go and confirm that one? Because I'm pretty sure that was what the revision was. This is the first time we've used this CPU here at Tim's PC, so it'll be exciting to see how that goes. We got an Asus Prime B550M-A Wi-Fi revision 2. We got a 550 watt Cooler Master MWE power supply with the bronze efficiency rating. And once again, that 80 plus rating is the efficiency rating, it's not the quality rating. You can judge, the best way for an amateur to judge the quality of the power supply that they're buying is by the manufacturer's warranty, okay? If you start looking at power supplies and you start seeing, you know, 5 and 10 year warranties, you can pretty much guarantee that that's a good power supply. No company anywhere is building cheap and nasty power supplies and going, hey, if anyone's power supply dies in the next 5 years, we'll just give you a new one. Said no company ever. So you can be pretty confident when you see more than like a 3 year, or 1 year is the price of admission, right? 3 years is good. That would be above the garbage tier. But yeah, you've got to look at that. You got to look at that manufacturer's warranty. If you don't know a lot about all of the internals of the power supply, and sometimes if you want to do a deep dive and find out exactly like what capacitors are inside the power supply, sometimes it's really hard to find information on that. So it can be really hard to make an assessment as to how good a power supply is without reading reviews. So that's why it's always good to look for the warranty. So for this power supply here, it's an 80 plus bronze unit. So some people think, oh, that's not good, it's only bronze. But this unit actually has a 5-year manufacturer's warranty from Cooler Master. So I can be pretty confident that this customer's not going to have a problem with their power supply, at least over the next 5 years. If they do, they can send it back to me, and I can put it back to Cooler Master, and they'll either replace or refund. We got a 1TB MSI NVMe SSD, and we got a 32GB kit of Corsair memory, and an RTX 4060. It's the PNY one. It's got a really good price. I think it's like $450 or something like that at Sculptech. We do need our IO shield. Okay, so I'll put the NVMe SSD in the bottom slot here. The reason why I'm doing that is so the top slot is free, so it's easy to upgrade. You don't have to take the graphics card out in order to upgrade it. It's typically what I do with all the PCs. So unless if you really don't like that and you want it done elsewhere, like another way, elsewhere. If you want it done another way, just let me know. But that's my rationale. That's why I do it like this. Okay, so DDR4 RAM versus DDR5. Yes, you can get some faster DDR5 kits, but they're still fairly expensive. And DDR4 still represents really good price performance. So if you don't want to spend a lot right now and you need a new PC, this might be the way to go. I was having a chat to a customer this afternoon, and I was sort of saying that, you know, if money's tight right now and you need a new system, maybe it makes sense for you to, you know, save the money and just get an AM4 based system instead of the AM5 one, and then maybe plan to just on sell that in a couple of years time, and then when, you know, you've got a bit more money, then you can go and invest in something really, really good instead of just trying to spend all of your money just to get the latest CPU generation and all that right now, when, you know, you're going to spend a lot more for it now because it's newer. And yeah, I mean, like the RAM, for example, unless you get like a really good speed of DDR5, it's not really too much different to DDR4. And that's why for a lot of people, DDR4 platform and AM4 is still completely fine. Okay, so we're going to be using the stock cooler, of course. So unless you want the aesthetics of an aftermarket cooler, you don't need to worry about that with like a Ryzen 5. Basically, any of the CPUs, any of like the Ryzen 5s and i5s that come with their own coolers, you don't really have to worry about an extra cooler. Like that stock cooler is going to be completely fine for basically 99% of users. So yeah, save your money. If your budget's low, don't go wasting it on a CPU cooler or thermal paste or something like that. Not when in the box you get one of these and it's got thermal paste pre-applied. Don't spend extra money where you don't have to. So if you just start to thread these screws, just sort of get them started, and then you can fasten them down all the way. Go opposite corners to get a good pattern on it. There we go. These AM4 Wraith Stealth coolers are really good in terms of the aesthetics and stuff. You just have to sort of deal with the cable here.
Tim?
Yeah.
Peter's item.
Hey Pete, how you going? Good to have you with us. Okay. Ah, that looks okay. All right. That is our board all prepped and ready to go. So now let's turn our attention to the case. So we got just a deep cool, sorry, not a deep cool, a Game Max Destroyer case. So it's a nice looking case. The fans that it comes with are just sort of standard RGB fans. They're not the addressable kinds, but this case is less than $70. I think I've seen these ones are at Umart, and these are $69. It's pretty good for a case with the 4 fans, and I mean it's not a bad looking case, right? Like that's decent. You know, it's not Liam Lee D11 or something like that. But for an under $70 case, that's pretty good. It's even got, you know, the mesh at the back here. You can mount some fans on the sidewall in it. I mean, it's pretty good. That's why I recommend this case to people who are on a budget. You know, if they don't want to spend a shitload of money on the case, or if they just go, I don't really care what the case is. This is pretty good. I mean, the 4 pre-installed fans, unless they've got a more powerful system, but if they want a more powerful system, they've got a bigger budget, and then I suggest a slightly more expensive case to fit that budget. So, all right. Alright, so really all you have to do for cable management is just try and run these cables away from where those extra fans can be mounted. Obviously if you mount the fans there, it makes cable management a lot easier. You won't see any cables from the front end. Okay, so you have nice sleeved cables here with this power supply. Oh. That scared Christine.
Shut up.
Okay. Yes, we need it. Yes, we need it. Yes, we need it. Hmm? Okay. So now we'll definitely have a little bit of stuff to do here. Do you reckon you could download the all the drivers for that motherboard?
Sure.
I'll give you my other USB thing for it.
Where is it?
Oh, it's in the bedroom.
Oh. I saw that.
No. Plugged into the charger. Yep. It's been on its way out for quite some time.
Oh. Wait. Hang on. So you want all the stuff? Which one is you want?
Yeah, just download one of everything.
Okay.
Silly cable. check the cable.
Huh? It opens and it doesn't open.
Okay, our front panel connectors. I've been told that this is the most challenging part of building a PC. It's not. The most challenging part is the diagnosis when there's a problem. But, as I was saying before, this is the sort of thing your mate will struggle with. Because when you do it 100 times, remembering which pin it goes on is pretty simple stuff. Alrighty. PNY trying to be like ASUS, covering every little bit with sticky. Oh. See, this graphics card actually feels like a graphics card and not a brick. All right, so that's pretty tidy. Yeah.
Mercedes says, I heard that Kingpin guy and PMI were partnering a little while back, maybe Acer, can't remember. Either way, hopefully Kingpin cards again.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. PNY is really sort of like an up and coming brand. Not many people know about them, but pretty much all their stuff is decent quality. I haven't personally had any issues with PNY. Oh, you know, I might have had like, you know, 1 out of 100 cards come back or something like that, but that's a standard kind of failure rate that you see in this industry. So yeah, nothing to be concerned about. Just because you don't know the brand doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. Seriously? Oh, I couldn't find the power cable, and then the power cable I found wasn't plugged in. Got anxiety that it won't want to post because of the new CPU. No, it's definitely it hasn't posted.
Fucked it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You suck. You suck.
No, what it will be. I mean, I can take a stick of RAM out, and we can try again to be thorough, but it will be the revision CPU isn't talking right to the motherboard without the BIOS update. So if you'd bought this this list of stuff and bought it at home, tried to build it yourself, if you didn't have a spare AM4 CPU, you might be up shit creek.
Tim?
Yeah.
Do you kind of want to know what's the CPU in this start?
Oh, we do have a post.
Oh, just took a while.
Look at that. No, but I just took a stick of memory out.
Oh, did you?
We might have just had a bad seating of the RAM. We're gonna hope as much.
Be a bad slot on the motherboard.
Be a bad slot of a mother on the motherboard.
Or it could be bad dim.
Yeah, bad stick, bad slot. Something like that.
It's not posting.
Yeah, give it a second. It'll have to go through the same sequence with a different stick in there as well. Fuck it. Okay. So now we're testing the stick I just took out in the original socket. So this is we're sort of trying to work out whether it's the slot or the DIMM. And that's, I mean, that posted bloody quickly then, didn't it? Had no freaking trouble with it. Let's try both in the one channel. The other thing too is it could also be a memory issue that needs the BIOS update as well. But we'll see what happens when we plug both into the same channel. And it posts. Okay. So it's like it's just not working in dual channel mode. So if that's the case, what we need to do is first I'm going to take the other stick out and we're going to go update the BIOS, and then hopefully with the BIOS updated we'll then have no problems running our memory in dual channel mode. Okay. Alright, so we'll test my theory. Because both sticks post when you stick them in the same channel. I think it's just something to do with the new CPU, because as we can see here, yeah.
GT CPU. I've never used or had any experience with it.
No, it's only new, so sure it'll be fine. Okay, so part way through that. Well, like I said, I'm pretty confident there's nothing wrong with our RAM here, and I'm also pretty confident that there's nothing wrong with the motherboard, because the sort of issue that I'm having here is exactly what I would expect to find with a new CPU onto a motherboard. Because even if it's the same socket, even if it fits, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to play nicely together. So that's the kind of thing that BIOS updates address. But the problem is you can't update the BIOS if you can't get the thing to turn on. And sometimes when you plug in a CPU, a new CPU, into a motherboard that already existed, yeah, you can have these sort of problems, and it can be a real pain if you don't have the right gear to sort it out. I mean, you've got to have like spare CPUs just sort of hanging around to swap out. You have spare graphics cards to swap out. It can get expensive. Oh. It's past my bedtime. Okay, so I got that BIOS update done. Now let's test our theory.
Sadie says my test bench is a Prime B550 non-M. It's been a great ball.
Yep.
Big quack, says hello.
Hey man, how you going? Good to have you with us.
Could it be possible channel 2 slots are dead, or did the RAM 6 post in channel 1 and 2 individually?
Yeah, so it did work together, but sometimes it'll work with sometimes it'll work with an individual channel, but then not in dual channel mode, which I think is what we might be seeing here. Alright, so test my theory. Let's try. So we've tried 2 in channel 1 and 1 in channel 2. Now trying 2 in channel 2. Interesting.
Says, wow, that's interesting. That board supports 5500 GT from the 2803 BIOS release. It was in April 2022. The CPU released in 2024 January in 2 years. Yeah.
No, the BIOS we updated to was March 2024. 22nd of March 2024. Okay, that's weird because now it's not posting in channel 2. We most probably have a bad motherboard. So that's a bit of a pain in the ass. Yeah, okay, so that will constitute a dead on arrival. So that'll add a couple of days to the delivery, unfortunately. But what a DOA means as opposed to a warranty is a DOA means I'll just swap the part out for you straight away. You don't have to worry about waiting for a fucking warranty repair or anything like that. If it happens like that week and I've bought the parts like that week, it's really easy to just get that part swapped, new for old. So that's probably where we're going to be. However, for tonight, we can go and continue on with the build. We will just continue in single channel mode. And we'll just use the one stick because 16 gigabytes would be more than enough. Damn. So I can't remember whose PC this is off the top of my head, but if it's yours, bugger. Remember the ad? Bugger.
That poor dog. That poor lady's washing.
Yeah, the lady's
Bugger.
washing. Bugger. Bugger. If you haven't seen the ad, you need to look it up. Look up Toyota bugger ad. It's timeless. It's really timeless. Oh, I just moved some stuff around. That's why it's making noises.
No, it went donk. Lord's gone up against glass. You didn't need to come to. Piece of wood so big.
Dense. Okay. Oh well. Dead motherboard's a dead motherboard.
There's not much you can do about that.
No. It is what it is. No, I know it's a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. I don't hoard PC parts or anything like that, so it goes straight back to the distributor. They hoard the parts for me. They take the financial risk. I don't. If you're sitting there going, what do you mean financial risk? Wouldn't you be making more money if you bought everything in bulk? That would make sense for almost any other industry, but the tech world, everything depreciates. So it's basically like we're sort of like what's the best way to describe it? It's like the fresh food industry. You know, when you're dealing with fresh food, you can't just buy endless amounts of fresh food and store it and expect customers to buy it at the fresh produce store. You can only buy a small amount at a time, enough that will sell before it goes bad for you, and you know will look good and taste good for the customer. You don't want to be trying to sell them shit. You don't want to be selling them apples from 3 months ago, etc. And that's kind of the same thing with tech. You don't want to be sitting on. I don't want to be sitting on 50 of these motherboards and then I'm motivated to try and sell everyone AM4 builds on this motherboard, because that'd be shit. That would mean I can't keep up with the market. I'd be stuck. I'm stuck forever trying to move my inventory, and that doesn't make sense for a business the size of mine. That's also why we don't have a shop front. It would cost a lot for me. It would cost a lot of money, and for me to just be sitting there at a shop front all day, probably not the best use of my time. I mean, I also work for another company as well, and you know, out of the hours in my day, you know, I don't want to be sitting there for 5 hours a day doing nothing just for the sake of having a Tim's PC sign up at a shop. Doesn't make any sense. Not in 2024. Everything's online. It's a different world now. Yeah, that's all I can really say. Some people get nervous of dealing with me because they're like, oh, I don't like buying things off Facebook, and it's like, no, I'm just communicating with you through Facebook. You're buying it from Tim's PC. I've got an active Google profile and a website and all that. I'm about as legit as you can get for a PC builder, and you can find that out. I don't ever ask for money to be just transferred to me over the internet. If you buy a PC, it goes on an invoice, and you pay me based on the payment details on the invoice. So that's the way it works. If someone freaking, not that anyone's trying to impersonate me, but if someone ever tried to impersonate me and started asking for money to be deposited directly into a bank account without giving you an invoice...
Take that back, there was one. Somebody set up a PC business in the US using your name and your logo. And they reported it to their local police station.
Yeah.
Because they contacted you about a PC and they're like, what? What's going on here?
Oh, what am I doing?
This is weird. I wonder whatever happened to that.
I have no idea, babe. No idea. Okay. So I've got a bit of stuff installing there. I'll get what I can installed without going online. Speeds up the process a little bit. Got to stress test it.
It isn't the motherboard, like.
Yeah. But it should be still fine to test the CPU and graphics card.
Wait, didn't we sell this one?
Yeah.
Do I remove it?
Yeah, you can remove that one. It's the other one that's still there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Rico says hi, Tim.
Hey Rico, how you going? Good to have you with us.
Brigo.
Oh, what was it?
Brigo.
Brigu, sorry. Sorry. She's behind a screen. I thought she said Rico.
He says he needs a good Movo for i5 12600K DDR5 and 4060 Ti. Send him a message.
Yeah, send me a message. Choosing a motherboard's mainly about getting the features that you want on the board. Obviously, there's some boards to avoid with more powerful CPUs, but as a general rule, shop by the features. Make sure you get the right ports and what you want. Okay. Set up MSI Afterburner here and our on-screen display.
Says I'll ping you in Facebook then, thanks.
No worries. Alright, we can probably do a restart on this in just a second. Okay. So while the rest of that's finishing up,
we may as well start running the gaming benchmarks on it. So it is still doing a bit of stuff in the background, but as a general rule, this will be well within its capabilities. So what we got on the screen here, up here, GPU in green, that's our graphics card. The temperature, usage, clock speed and wattage. Below it, MEM in green, that's our VRAM usage and clock speed. We got our CPU, temperature, usage, clock speed and wattage. And we got our RAM usage, and this number here below RAM, that's how many frames per second it's currently running at. I am pretty tired. Oh, it's late. Oh, it's what I call late.
Holy shit.
What?
After human remains of 2 people were found during earthworks for a new spill building in March, the principal of Hutchins Spill in Hobart says 1,300 more bodies have now been found.
1,300. Oh shit, it's a mass grave.
Jeez.
Okay. Yep. I judge it a lot by that opening sequence. Alright, so next we'll do Valley. Valley's more demanding, and we also run it on higher settings.
The site of a school where they want to build is over the top of an old cemetery. The last body that was buried there was 1930.
Fucking hell. What, people just forgot that it was there?
I think so. I see. They thought they exhumed all the graves there.
Oh.
It was sold off in like the 30s.
Oh, okay.
That's funny. Well, it's not really funny, but
Yeah, I know what you mean. Alright, so it was Valley there on Ultra with max anti-aliasing. And finally we got superposition here, and we run that one on 4K. The other two are 1080p. Okay, so that was superposition there at 4K resolution. Alright, well, that's pretty much all we got. I've just got to do a stress test on this thing, and then obviously I've got to swap this motherboard out. So, yeah, happy days. Yeah, so babe, I think that's where we'll leave it for tonight. So I'm going to sign off. So look, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.